Hey guys, today I will be taking a look at the early voting results so far for the 2020 presidential election. Before we get into that, make sure you join my Discord server if you have not. The link at the very top of the description below. We're doing many events, giveaways, and contests on there, like this map contest right here. Just submit your 2020 electoral map prediction, and you will win Discord Nitro if your map is one of the most accurate ones. Just put them into the map contest channel before polls close at 7 p.m. Eastern time on the 3rd of November. As well as that, make sure you consider becoming a channel member for just 99 cents per month. So moving on to today's video. Basically, I think that a lot of you guys will be interested in seeing the early voting results right now for the 2020 election based solely off of voter registration and the amount of ballots that have been returned. So do not take these results, take these results with a grain of salt, definitely. Do not take these results too seriously. This is modeled by NBC News, so do not take this too seriously. Nothing against NBC News, but it's just that these results are based off of the information that we have. None of this is actually based off of the voters and how they voted. And you can see that in every state, there's a huge chunk of voters who are not Democrats or Republicans. So make sure you keep all of that in mind. This is not an actual map. I do not think that this map is going to happen. But right now, the early voting numbers, according to the party registration, I want to take a look at the numbers that we have and are seeing right now for the 2020 election. So starting off with the state of Nevada, Joe Biden is up by 3% over President Trump, up at 39 to Trump at 36. Definitely, we see a huge chunk of undecided voters who are going to decide this race. And we see that there is an improvement from 2016, but not as large as some other states that we'll see, especially Pennsylvania has seen a huge increase in early voting compared to 2016. Pennsylvania is probably the most important state, and I think that the voters there know that, which is why there's just huge turnout in Pennsylvania as well as the state of Texas. So the state of Nevada, this is currently going to go into the lean column for Joe Biden, and the reason why I'm doing this now is because most voting has early voting has ended in most states. Some states are continuing until the 3rd of November, but in most states it's going to end right now. There's probably not going to be early voting in many of these states that you guys are in. The state of Arizona, 11 electoral votes. Joe Biden also has an edge in this state according to the results right now. We see a 55% increase, up at 2.3 million votes. Joe Biden leads by 1% over Donald Trump according to the voter registration results from the state of Arizona. So the state of Arizona, this is going to go to the former vice president as a tilt state. The state of Texas, 38 electoral votes. These results, I think, might actually surprise a lot of you. Right now, Donald Trump is up by a staggering lead in the state of Texas. There is 9 million votes cast. This is more than California, I believe. And this is 92% of an increase from 2016. And this, with 4.9 million votes cast last time, a 92% increase. This is literally almost 10 million votes. So this is a big deal. Texas is probably going to shatter voting records in their home state. So Texas, right now, Trump plus a margin of 17% according to the party registration. So that is going to be a Trump state. But what you have to keep in mind is that a lot of voters do not change their party registration when they do not continue to vote for their previous party. So Texas, decades ago, it was such a solid Republican state. Just one decade ago, this state was solid for the GOP like it was in 2012. So what you have to keep in mind is that a lot of voters are moving to the left in Texas. And although they might be registered Republicans, they probably are going to vote Democrat. That's just something else that you have to keep in mind. The state of Minnesota, 10 electoral votes. I want to move on, taking a look at the blue wall that Trump was able to break through in 2016. The state of Minnesota right now, Joe Biden leads by a margin of 15% here. So this is going to be solid for Joe Biden. We see a huge increase. This is to say that Joe Biden cannot lose. If Joe Biden loses Minnesota, he is going to lose this election. But I am confident in Biden's ability to win this race. Also, something else that you guys must keep in mind is that party registration is modeled. So in most states like, let's say, Arizona, you can see the party registration as it is publicly available. In states like Texas, as we saw earlier, in Minnesota, it is not publicly available. So this is all an estimate, with a model that Target Smart has done. So Minnesota right now, Biden plus 15%. So this state is actually going to be solid for the former vice president. The state of Wisconsin, this is going to be pretty shocking, or shocking for me to see this as well. But right now, Joe Biden is down in the state of Wisconsin. Now, taking a look at the polls, I think this will be able to calm a lot of you guys down who are supporting Joe Biden. Joe Biden is probably not going to lose this state. And in my opinion, these numbers right now, they're interesting to take a look at, but I do not think that they are going to affect the election. I think that if Joe Biden would win this state in a normal election, he's going to win this state now. Because in 2016, 1 in every 4 votes was cast as an absentee ballot. So Early voting is not new, it's just going to be a little bit higher this time around. So in Wisconsin, although Trump is leading, I would not, completely bet on Trump's victory here. He's probably still not going to win the state. I don't think he's going to win this state. And according to the mail-in ballots, as well as mail-in and early in-person ballots returned, the numbers are almost exactly the same. So got to keep all of that in mind when you're taking a look at these numbers. So Wisconsin right now would go to Donald Trump by a margin of 8%. So that's going to be a likely state on this electoral map. The state of Michigan is a little bit close to the Wolverine state. Joe Biden is only down by 2% in this state. Again, the party registration in this state is modeled as well as the official party registration is not publicly available in the state of Michigan. Biden is down by 2%, and the early voting has increased by 168%. So it's at over 2 million votes. In 2016, it was only at 977,000 at this point in time. So this state is going to be a tilt state for the former vice president, or not former vice president, for the current president of the United States. So that's going to be a tilt state for Donald Trump. The final state, the state of Pennsylvania, this state is looking especially good for Joe Biden. We have seen a huge increase in early voting, 996% up from 2016. Right now it's at 2.2 million. In 2016, 209,000. So the numbers here, Pennsylvania is shattering early voting records, and Joe Biden is up at 67 to Donald Trump with 23. I'm not even going to do the math here. I believe it's 44%. That's a 44%. I mean, definitely Joe Biden's not going to win this state by 44%. This is, what I mean. The results here, they are not the most accurate. There are definitely going to be a lot of Republicans voting. So although Biden still is probably going to win, he's not going to win Pennsylvania by 44%. I just think it's interesting, and I think that a lot of you guys will want to see the results that we have out here. So the state of Pennsylvania, this is going to be a very solid state for Joe Biden on this electoral map. So that's going to be a solid state, 20 electoral votes for the former vice president. He's now only 10 electoral votes away from 270, according to this electoral map. The state of Iowa, 6 electoral votes right now. Joe Biden is also up in this seat by 13%. Again, this is probably not going to happen, but still, he's up by 13%. That's pretty impressive. 65% increase from 2016, so not the largest increase, approaching 1 million votes. So the party registration here is publicly available in the state of Iowa, so this is going to go to Joe Biden as well as a likely state. So that's going to be put into the Biden column. The state of Ohio, 18 electoral votes. Joe Biden is down by 10% in Ohio, so we see a huge shift from Iowa to Ohio, which I think are going to vote pretty similarly in this election, like it did in 2016. These two Rust Belt states moved drastically to the left, both states that Barack Obama won in 2012, but states that Trump was able to win by over 8% 4 years ago. We see it almost doubling in the early votes from Ohio, and Donald Trump is up by 10% according to the early voting that is on NBC News' article right here. So Donald Trump up by 10% is going to be a likely state for the president. And then the state of New Hampshire, 4 electoral votes, a state that was very close 4 years ago. This time, Joe Biden shattering records here at 51%, Donald Trump with 22. There's no way that Biden's going to lose the state of New Hampshire, but the numbers here are just way too high. I mean, look at the polls. They're not going to be that high. There's definitely going to be a lot more votes for Donald Trump. So Joe Biden is leading in this state by, I believe, around 30%. So it's going to go to Joe Biden as a solid state, 29% to be more exact. So that's going to be solid for the former vice president. And now we have 3 more states left on this electoral map. First, the state of North Carolina, 15 electoral votes in this state. Joe Biden is currently up by 5% in early voting in North Carolina. I think it's interesting, and North Carolina definitely one of the most important states, not because it's not going to be the tipping point state, but if Joe Biden wins North Carolina, Donald Trump has lost this election. This is a must-win state for Donald Trump, and these numbers are not looking good for him. So Joe Biden leads in every single poll conducted in the state of North Carolina. So this is going to be another lean state for Joe Biden. This does put him at 285 electoral votes. He was already at 270 with the additions of the states of Iowa and New Hampshire. We have 2 more states left. The state of Georgia first, 16 electoral votes. Joe Biden actually down here. Donald Trump is not going to win this state by 9%. I can promise you guys that. But the state right now is in favor of Joe Biden, or in favor of Donald Trump. Sorry about that. And the numbers, I mean, they're not too great right now if we were to take a look at the actual numbers. But what we have to keep in mind is that these numbers are extremely inaccurate. But So definitely take this with a grain of salt, as I've been saying this whole video. I don't want to see comments down there telling me that, asking me why I believe this. I do not believe this. So I just thought it was interesting to take a look at this. So the state of Georgia right now is, I believe, a likely state for Donald Trump. You have right there, that is a margin of 9%. And then finally, the Sunshine State, the state of Florida, a very key state for both Biden and Trump, but a lot more for Trump. Trump has to win the state. Joe Biden, as you can see, does not need to win the state of Florida. So 29 electoral votes right here. Joe Biden is up by 2% according to the early voting. Florida is going to be one of the most contentious states in this election, and they do get a lot of absentee ballots typically, so the results in Florida are probably going to come in a lot earlier than states like Michigan, Wisconsin, or Pennsylvania even. So Florida, 56% increase, just because there's still a lot of early voting that occurs in previous elections in Florida. That's just what goes on there. So right now, Joe Biden up 2% according to the results that we have so far. So this is going to be a lean state for the former vice president. And actually, I'll put it in the till column, just because I put Michigan in the till column for President Trump. So this is going to be 314 for Joe Biden according to this map to 224 for Donald Trump. Now, do I think this is going to happen? Absolutely not. I mean, taking a look at the numbers in both Wisconsin and Michigan, I mean, Biden leads in every single poll out of Wisconsin. He also leads in every single poll out of Michigan. So Joe Biden leads in every single poll. I didn't even check, but I'm just sure that he does lead in every poll out of these two states. So there's no way that Joe Biden is going to lose these two states by, these kinds of margins, especially Wisconsin. It's not going to be a likely margin for Donald Trump. Michigan, I don't see it going to Donald Trump at this point in time. I just don't. Other states, Iowa, I don't think Iowa is going to go to Joe Biden. Taking a look at Iowa, as you can see, Trump leads in these newer polls. I think he will very narrowly win this state. It's not going to be like when he led by around 3% in 2016 over Hillary Clinton and won this state by 9%. That's not going to happen this time around. He is not seeing a surge nationwide. His numbers are basically stagnant as of the past couple of weeks, and that is not good for the candidate that is losing in this election. So Iowa is right now currently expected to go to Donald Trump, but Joe Biden leads in the party registration according to the early votes that have already been cast. So this state, I think, is not going to be correct either. I've been taking a look at the state of Florida. I want to take a look at this state. Florida, I think, is probably going to be the most interesting state in this election. I think Pennsylvania will be a little bit more favorable towards Joe Biden than we expect. We see that there's only one poll by SurveyMonkey. Keep in mind, this is the D- rated pollster. This is the worst possible pollster that, Product 30 even allows on their website. They do not allow F-rated pollsters. So this is a horrible pollster. They have Trump up by 2%, but NBC News and Marist, they put Biden up 4%. This is an A+ rated pollster, as well as Monmouth +5 for Joe Biden, going to be like a B+ rated pollster, 45 to 42. So numbers, they are all right for Joe Biden. I can definitely see Trump still winning this state, but I think it's going to be very close. I think that if Joe Biden wins the election, I think he has a great chance at winning Florida. So right now, Biden is up by 2%, but I would not, take that too seriously. So that is good news for the Biden campaign still. I mean, taking a look at Arizona, 11 electoral votes right here. The polls, still, they are in Biden's favor. Only one morning consult poll conducted over a week ago has Trump actually ahead in this state, and Ipsos has Biden up by 2%. So the state of Arizona, I do not think this is too accurate. I think that we'll see a little bit of an increase for Joe Biden. I think it's gonna be a little bit over 1%. So this electoral map, I agree with most of it, but I do think that Michigan and Wisconsin are going to flip. Iowa, I think, is also going to flip. The rest of the map, I would probably agree with. I mean, moving the states of Michigan and Wisconsin back into the Biden column. Pennsylvania is not going to be solid, nor is New Hampshire. Wisconsin and Pennsylvania are probably going to be lean, as well as Michigan, in my opinion, as well. North Carolina, I think, is definitely going to be tilt. I mean, Florida could be tilt for Joe Biden, could be tilt for Donald Trump. But right now, if we don't see anything too substantial, I'm going to keep it for Joe Biden. But Trump can definitely still win this state, and I wouldn't be surprised if he did. Georgia is probably going to be a lot closer. So is the state of Iowa or Ohio, and then Iowa as well is also going to go to Donald Trump with a tilt margin. Texas, another tilt Trump state, and at best a lean state. We could see a possibility with Texas is a lean state by around 3%, but still I would bet on it being a tilt state. Arizona, it's probably going to be a tilt state at this point in time, and Nevada a lean state. So is this map, or was the map correct? Absolutely not. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, just taking a look at the results that we have so far. I think it's pretty interesting to take a look at. do not worry about these results. I would just want to make that very, very clear. It's absolutely nothing to worry about. So this was just, for fun, and the map was pretty favorable for Joe Biden. So make sure you join my Discord server if you have not. I don't know why I can't talk today. I apologize for that. But make sure you join my Discord server if you have not, as well as checking out this map competition on my Discord server as well. Make sure you enter for a chance to win Discord Nitro. I want to take a look at what kinds of maps you guys are predicting right now for the 2020 election. Also consider joining my channel as a member. And so yeah, that is it for this video. I will be releasing my final 2020 election night video in just a couple of hours at, I believe, 7 p.m. Eastern time, so 4 p.m. Pacific time, which is my time. So make sure you guys check that out. I think it's pretty good. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see all of you guys in the next video.